Welcome, dear listeners, to History with Herodotus, where we embark on a journey through the annals of time, uncovering the secrets and stories that have shaped the course of human history. Today, we find ourselves in the midst of one of the most pivotal events in ancient Rome, the assassination of Julius Caesar. As we delve into the earliest history of this fateful event, let us first set the stage for the drama that is about to unfold. In the year 49 BCE, Julius Caesar, the renowned Roman general and statesman, stood at the banks of the Rubicon River, poised to make a decision that would change the course of his life and the fate of Rome. His conquests in Gaul had brought immense wealth and glory to Rome, but they had also created a sense of unease among the Roman elite. The Optimates, a faction of the Roman Senate, feared that Caesar's growing power and popularity with the common people would undermine the traditional balance of power in Rome. As we explore the earliest history of the assassination of Julius Caesar, it becomes clear that the seeds of rebellion had been sown long before the fateful Ides of March. Caesar's decision to cross the Rubicon River with his legions, sparking a civil war against his rival Pompey, had been seen as a brazen challenge to the authority of the Senate. Although Caesar had emerged victorious from the conflict, his actions had created a sense of distrust and hostility among the senatorial class. In the months leading up to his assassination, Caesar's behavior had become increasingly autocratic. He had been appointed dictator for life, a position that was seen as a direct threat to the Roman Republic. His refusal to rise from his seat when the Senate approached him, a gesture of disrespect that was deeply felt by the senators, had further inflamed tensions. The city of Rome was abuzz with discontent, as the air was thick with the whispers of conspiracy and rebellion. The Forum Romanum, once a symbol of Roman power and grandeur, now seemed to be a hotbed of intrigue and deception. It was here that the likes of Marcus Junius Brutus, Gaius Cassius Longinus, and other prominent senators would often gather, their conversations laced with a sense of urgency and desperation. As we navigate the complex web of alliances and rivalries that defined ancient Rome, we find ourselves drawn to the figures of Brutus and Cassius, two men who would play a pivotal role in the events that were about to unfold. Brutus, a descendant of the legendary Lucius Junius Brutus, who had overthrown the last king of Rome, was driven by a sense of duty and honor. He saw Caesar's rise to power as a threat to the Roman Republic, and was determined to defend it against all costs. Cassius, on the other hand, was a skilled military commander and a seasoned politician who had served with distinction in the Roman army. He had been a vocal critic of Caesar's growing power and had often clashed with him in the Senate. Together, Brutus and Cassius formed the nucleus of a group of principled senators who were willing to risk everything to defend their beloved republic against the perceived tyranny of Julius Caesar. The stage is set for a drama that will unfold with tragic consequences, as a group of principled senators, driven by their commitment to the Roman Republic, prepare to take a stand against the man they see as a tyrant. Join me, dear listeners, as we embark on this fascinating journey, and together, let us uncover the secrets and stories that have made the assassination of Julius Caesar one of the most enduring and captivating tales in all of human history. Welcome back to History with Herodotus, as we continue our exploration of the assassination of Julius Caesar. It is here, in this pivotal moment, that we witness the culmination of a complex web of intrigue and deception, as a group of principled senators, driven by their commitment to the Roman Republic, prepare to take a stand against the man they see as a tyrant. As we delve deeper into the heart of the conspiracy, it becomes clear that the Ides of March, that fateful day when Caesar would meet his end, was not just a random date, but rather the culmination of months of careful planning and preparation. The conspirators, led by Brutus and Cassius, had chosen this day with great care, knowing that the Senate would be in session and that Caesar would be present. The city of Rome was abuzz with activity on that day, as the senators gathered at the Curia of Pompey, a grand building that stood as a testament to the power and glory of Rome. The air was thick with tension, as the conspirators, armed with daggers and driven by their conviction, prepared to strike. Caesar, oblivious to the danger that lurked around him, took his seat at the front of the Curia, surrounded by his loyal supporters. As the senators approached him, they presented a petition, allegedly on behalf of a group of citizens who were seeking clemency for a condemned man. Caesar, in a gesture of defiance and arrogance, refused to rise from his seat, further inflaming the passions of the conspirators. It was then that Julius Caesar, one of the conspirators, grabbed Caesar's toga, pulling it down from his shoulders, and the others, with cries of liberty, freedom, began to stab him repeatedly. The assassination of Julius Caesar was a brutal and bloody affair, with some accounts suggesting that he received as many as 23 stab wounds. As he lay dying on the floor of the Curia, Caesar is said to have uttered the famous words "Et tu, Brute," or "In you, Brutus," a phrase that has become synonymous with betrayal and treachery. In the aftermath of Caesar's assassination, the city of Rome was plunged into chaos and confusion. The conspirators, who had expected to be hailed as heroes for their bravery, were instead met with shock and outrage. The people of Rome, who had grown to love and admire Caesar, were deeply saddened by his death. And soon the streets of Rome would run red with blood, as a wave of violence and revenge swept through the city. The assassination of Julius Caesar had set in motion a chain of events that would lead to the downfall of the Roman Republic and the rise of the Roman Empire under the rule of Caesar's adopted son, Octavian. The period that followed would be marked by civil war, power struggles, and great upheaval, but it would also be a time of great transformation and change, as Rome emerged from the ashes of the old republic to become one of the greatest empires the world has ever known. Join me, dear listeners, as we continue our journey through the annals of time, uncovering the secrets and stories that have shaped the course of human history. Welcome back to History with Herodotus, as we conclude our exploration of the assassination of Julius Caesar. As the news of Caesar's death spread throughout the city, a mix of emotions erupted among the populace. Some, like Cicero, who had been a vocal critic of Caesar's growing power, might have initially seen the assassination as a necessary act to restore the balance of power in Rome. However, the majority of Romans, who had grown to admire and respect Caesar for his military victories and public works, were deeply saddened by his death. The conspirators, led by Brutus and Cassius, expected to be hailed as heroes for their bravery in defending the Roman Republic against what they perceived as tyranny. Instead, they found themselves facing a hostile reaction from the people of Rome, who began to see them as cold-blooded murderers rather than patriotic defenders of liberty. In the days that followed, Mark Antony, one of Caesar's most powerful allies, delivered a eulogy at Caesar's funeral, which would prove to be a masterstroke in swaying public opinion against the conspirators. Antony's speech not only praised Caesar's achievements, but also revealed the contents of his will, which left a significant portion of his wealth to the people of Rome, and adopted Octavian, his grandnephew, as his son. This revelation turned the tide of public sentiment firmly against Brutus and Cassius, who were now seen as having murdered not just a leader, but a benevolent father figure to the Roman people. The power vacuum created by Caesar's assassination led to a series of complex alliances and rivalries among the various factions vying for control. Octavian, now backed by the legacy and wealth of Caesar, began to consolidate his power, forming an alliance with Mark Antony and Marcus Aemilius Lepidus to form the Second Triumvirate. Their primary goal was to avenge Caesar's death and eliminate the conspirators who had murdered him. The period that followed was marked by civil war and great upheaval. The Battle of Philippi in 42 BCE saw the defeat of Brutus and Cassius, marking the end of the Roman Republic as it had been known. Octavian would eventually emerge victorious from these conflicts, defeating Mark Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE, and becoming the first emperor of Rome under the name Augustus. As we reflect on the aftermath of Caesar's assassination, it becomes clear that this event was a pivotal moment in Roman history, marking the transition from the Roman Republic to the Roman Empire. The legacy of Julius Caesar continued to shape the destiny of Rome, with his adopted son Octavian ensuring that his memory and policies lived on. The words of the ancient Greek historian Plutarch seem apt in describing the tumultuous period following Caesar's death. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. Yet, in the case of Julius Caesar, both the good and the evil that he did lived on, influencing the course of Roman history for centuries to come. In conclusion, the assassination of Julius Caesar was not just a dramatic event, but a turning point in history. It led to the end of the Roman Republic, paved the way for the rise of the Roman Empire under Augustus, and left an indelible mark on Western civilization. As we close this chapter on one of history's most fascinating stories, we are reminded of the enduring power of human ambition, loyalty, and the quest for power that continues to shape our world today. And so, dear listeners, our journey through the annals of time comes to a close for this tale. We hope you have enjoyed this exploration of the assassination of Julius Caesar, as much as we have. Join us next time on History with Herodotus as we delve into another captivating chapter in human history. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share,